Okay, well, good evening, everybody. This is Leland Von Sering, and I'd like to welcome all of you onto our webinar this evening. Tonight, we're very fortunate to have with us Marilyn Singer. Marilyn's a master broker who's been working her note business for over 3 decades, and during that time, she's accumulated a lot of knowledge about not only notes, but she's perfected many different techniques that she uses to find them. And tonight, she's going to share some of them with us. So, Marilyn, at this time, I'd like to welcome you in. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks. Looking forward to talking with your listeners.
Good, good. All right. Well, I just want everybody to know that tonight's presentation will last probably around 20, 30 minutes. And if anyone has any questions along the way, just type them in, and we will try to get to them at the end if time permits.
Terrific.
All right, Marilyn, well, go ahead.
All right. What I want to talk to you about is utilizing probate, the probate process, to build wealth. We've done lots of stuff in the decades that we've been doing cash flow notes. We are U.S. and Canadian investors. We're private lenders. We've done pre-foreclosures, foreclosures, short sales, REOs, real estate owned by the bank, and probate. We do all of these things. And I found that the best kept secret and the most profitable strategy in our real estate investment career has been probate. So the training system that we've put together, you will learn how to use real estate to generate regular, consistent, large chunks of cash in any economy. And that's an important footnote, in any economy. And you're working with friendly people who are very motivated to sell their property. You'll also find how to make money on other assets from the estate. So there's more than one income stream. It isn't just about real estate. And I'm also going to show you that you can utilize real estate in making money if you don't have money to buy real estate with you. So if you don't have money to buy, don't think you can't play. You absolutely can. And our training shows you how to do that. So the 4 income opportunities are, of course, the real estate. We call that the trophy fish. The personal property, that could be collections, jewelry, artwork, cars, boats, and planes. Inheritance advance, private mortgage notes. And you can do any of these yourself or all of them yourself, or you can farm it out and just take a fee for passing the information along. So first of all, let me explain what probate is in case you're not aware. Probate is the legal process in the United States which ensures that legitimate creditors, that's liabilities of a decedent, are paid from the assets of the decedent's estate before any inheritance passes to the legal heirs. Now, I say it's the legal process in the United States. It's also the process in Canada. The exception is the state of Louisiana. The state of Louisiana runs their probate under French law. The United States and Canada run under English law. So Louisiana, if you live in Louisiana, your system is going to be just a little bit different. Not totally different, but just a little bit different. Everywhere else in the United States and Canada, the system is the same. And the process takes place in the county of the decedent's residence at the time of death. The decedent is the person who passed away. So the county in which they are living is where the process takes place. So there's assets and liabilities in an estate. The assets could be real estate, furnishings, jewelry, collections, as I mentioned, automobiles, boats, planes, stocks, bonds, cash. Liabilities, or the debts against the estate, are things like the medical bills, the utility bills, perhaps there are mortgage payments on the real estate, car payments, consumer loan payments, maybe they bought some furniture and are paying for it over time, judgments if there are any, insurance premiums, property taxes, funeral expenses. All of those are debts against the estate that must be satisfied before the heirs can collect their inheritance. So the process begins after someone dies, when those left behind are ready to deal with the business end of dying. We are not chasing ambulances or attending funerals. I will tell you that I had a couple of young men in a 3-day class that I teach that came to me the second day and said, we're not going to be able to be in class Saturday afternoon. And I said, why? And they said, well, we have to go to funerals. And they had clippings in their hands. And I thought they must have had some horrible family tragedy. And I said, oh, my gosh, what happened? And they said, oh, nothing happened. We're going to go to these funerals that were in the newspaper and see if anybody's got real estate for sale. So I don't know how that would work out. That is not what we do. That is not what we do. Can you picture going to a funeral and saying, gee, I'm sorry for your loss, but is it, since John's not going to be using the house anymore, is it perhaps for sale? So that is not what we do. The probate process can drag on for months. Average it is about 18 months, but it can go on for years if there's problems in the estate. That doesn't affect us. We are helping those going through the process by bringing cash into the estate and then moving on. So however long probate lasts, it does not affect us. It doesn't matter. And the training system will explain all of that to you and why it doesn't matter. So the creditors must be satisfied, and unless there's a lot of cash, which is rare, possessions must be sold to pay those bills, those debts against the estate. And anything with a title must go through probate in order to sell it, unless it's already been put in a trust. So if somebody has a car or a boat or a plane, that has to go through probate in order to sell it. Because remember, if you've ever sold a car or a piece of real estate, if you have a title, the person who owns it has to sign off on it to sell it. Well, if the person who owns it is no longer living, that's going to be tricky, unless it's already in a trust. So anything with a title must go through probate. And through all this process, this 18 months or however long it takes, a specific person or persons are responsible. And we're going to tell you about who those key people are. Now, a descendant leaving a will and testament, a last will and testament, is said to have died testate. One leaving no will is said intestate. A will is simply instructions to the court. A will not keep your estate out of probate. It will not keep your estate out of probate. Very important to know that. And of course, can a will be overturned by the court? Absolutely, yes. Happens all the time. It's just what you would prefer to happen with your estate, and then a judge can overturn that. So if you want to avoid probate, don't die. If you can't figure out a way to avoid that, and you have to die, be sure to put your assets into a living trust while you're still alive. That can be a revocable trust that you can change anytime you want, very simple, or an irrevocable trust, depending on what your advice is from your attorneys or estate planners. But unless you have your assets in a trust of some sort, you're going to be going through probate, your estate. Now, you can add and remove assets to the trust. That's an important quality. And then the trust is already in place, of course, while you're still living, so the estate doesn't go through probate. So let's talk about the players, the decedent, the person who dies, the star of the show. The personal representative, or PR for short, or administrator is the decision maker. That's your new best friend, the personal representative, the PR or administrator. That's the person who has the authority to make decisions like selling real estate. There may be an attorney for the estate. Some estates have them, some don't have them. They may have influence, but they do not have the authority. The PR has the authority. And then there are often heirs, and they usually have some influence. It depends on the particular estate and the people, but again, they have no authority. The authority rests in the hands of the personal representative, the PR. And then, of course, you become a certified probate specialist. You are the problem solver. You're the Ajax White Knight. You're coming in with money and opportunities and solutions for people that are in a tricky position. They have a lot of bills the estate owns. Maybe they don't have the money to pay them. They've got to pay all sorts of things until the estate settles, which could be 18 months, 2 years, like maybe the mortgage on the house, the utilities, the upkeep, things like that. So The benefits of probate property is you're helping people, first of all. The sellers are usually very motivated. They need to get this handled. They often live elsewhere. They've grown up, moved away, and now they got to come back home to Buffalo or whatever and deal with mom and dad's house. The real property is not usually ready for market. It's usually tired, worn out, dated. It's not going to show well, and the first thing a real estate agent is going to tell them is, well, it's not ready for market. You're going to need to spend money making it ready for market, particularly in this tricky real estate market, right? So they don't have money to spend in almost all cases, nor do they want to spend it. So the property is not usually ready. That's great. That's what's called a good deal for you. And, of course, the heirs usually already have their own homes, their own cars, their own furniture. They have their own lives. They're just dealing with the leftovers from somebody else's. So if you follow our system, you'll know about the property before anyone else knows it's on the market. And don't you think that gives you a good leg up in making good deals? You bet it does. You'll know about it before anyone else knows it's on the market. So you have less competition. You think about it. If you're driving down the street, you come to the stop sign, and there's a house on your left that's vacant, and there's a house on your right that's vacant. One of them has a sign in front of it. So which one is everybody else going to call? Well, they're going to call the one with the sign because it's easy. It's a low-hanging fruit. You're going to be able to identify who to call on the one that has no sign. And you will get referrals. When you help people through a difficult time, which probate can be, they will tell people, oh, yeah, I was going through that, and this woman helped me, and, oh, my gosh, she helped us with the real estate, and she took care of the furnishings, et cetera, et cetera. So you will get referrals from other people. So I explained that there are 4 revenue streams. One, of course, is the real estate. In the real estate, you can wholesale, you can rehab it, retail it, rent it, all sorts of options that we discussed. And then the personal property, you can resell it, you can consign it, you can turn it over to an auction house, you can use it to furnish your rental properties, which of course causes the rent to go pretty much double, particularly in this renter's market. Inheritance advance, you will broker, you have no exposure whatsoever, you'll ask a few questions, literally like a few questions, and then you will turn that information over to people that purchase inheritance, partial inheritances, and offer a cash advance to the heirs. Your total time involvement will be about 30 minutes, and then you're out of it, and then one day you just get a check in the mail. And then private mortgage notes, which you will find in estates. People sold the property years ago, and maybe the people that wanted to buy it didn't qualify for a mortgage, or maybe Grandpa thought, gee, this would be a good investment. I'll just take back the mortgage myself at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%, and he's been collecting those payments all these years, and now there's still payments to be made. Again, you'll spend about 30 minutes, fill out a simple sheet, and send it off to be quoted and make a little money that way. And again, you can do it yourself, or you can pass it on to somebody for a finder's fee. So if you're wondering, are there enough probate deals? Well, someone dies every 12 minutes in the United States, and that's estimated to be every 10 minutes by 2014 because of the graying of America. In 2011, there were approximately 5.7 million probate cases open in the United States at any one time. That's a lot. In 2011, approximately 1.9 million new probate cases were open. So do you think there's enough deals there for everybody? Yeah, I think so. I think so. So what are the high percentages of success? What are the things you should look for? Ideally, out-of-town personal representatives. Remember, the personal representative, or PR, is the decision maker. And if they live out of town, they want to get this probate deal handled, this real estate handled, all these personal properties, etc., handled and closed as soon as possible. My favorite is when the decedent has left their property and personal property to charities. because charities don't want property. They don't want art collections or sofas or cars. They want cash. So one of the deals I worked, the decedent left everything to 10 different charities. I did a happy little money dance because can you imagine these 10 charities trying to own a home and all these other properties together? No. They wanted them sold and converted into cash. Fixer-uppers, the ones we talked about, they're not ready for market, which is you're going to find the majority of the properties that you come across are not ready for market. Cash poor estates, which is most of them. The majority of the estates will be cash poor. So somebody has to be paying all those bills with something, and they may not have money. The PR may not have a bankroll of their own to fund this stuff for a year or two until the probate settles. So cash poor estates are a good target because they need cash. So what you'll do, you'll find property in probate, and the system explains to you how to do that before anybody else knows it's on the market. You'll comp the property. You can use, and by that you'll figure out what comparable properties in that area are worth. You can use Zillow.com. It'll give you a rough estimate. You may be familiar with areas, real estate areas in towns near where you live, so you can get a good idea of what a property is worth. It's also good to just read the real estate ads. You'll educate yourself just by doing that in the areas that you're interested in investing. So you'll analyze the profit possibilities. Gee, this property is, I can probably pick it up for under $80,000, and the properties, some of them in that area, when they're ready for market, are worth $150,000. So you say, okay, there's some profit possibilities there. Then you're going to contact the personal representative. Take a look at the property. Drive by it. When you've made an appointment with the personal representative, and this is all part of the training, and we explain step by step how to do that, then view the property inside. Make sure there's no ugly surprises, and then make an offer for the house and all its contents. And don't be afraid. You're going to use other people's money, so don't be afraid to make an offer. And then execute your exit strategy, whether it, for the real estate and the personal property, whether it's to buy it yourself, whether it's to wholesale it to somebody else without even going to closing, whether it's going to have, you're going to have an estate sale and sell the personal property, and split the profits with somebody that you're going to have run it for you, or whatever your poison is, whatever you like doing. And then you're going to broker the private mortgage notes. And again, that's the 30 minutes, and offer inheritance in advance if there are heirs that are due to inherit cash when this thing closes. You're going to do those, and both of those last two are like 30 minutes of your time. So some people are now going, ooh, I'm going to make offers. Oh, yeah, you're going to make offers. If you never offer, you're never going to get. However, just so it isn't so scary, I'm going to teach you how to make all of your offers escapable, assignable, and your money will not be tied up until you know you're going to closing, if going to closing is what you want to do. So I'm going to teach you the clauses to put into your contract that make them totally escapable, without penalty, assignable, so you can assign them and wholesale them, and your money will not be tied up until you know you're going to closing, if going to closing is what you want to do. So that should make you feel a little more comfortable about making offers. So how can I be sure my property will sell? This is a tricky real estate market. Well, we sell 5 to 10% below the fair market value, the FMV, because we're buying 30 to 50% below fair market value. Remember, these properties are not ready for market, and we have very eager sellers. So we're buying at a good price, which allows us to sell at a good price and still make a nice profit, but move our real estate when other real estate is sitting there. So how much money can I make? You're probably wondering. Well, in real estate, if you want to wholesale, the rule of thumb is 25% of 10% of the after repair value. So if the property is a $300,000 after repair value property, you'd make 25% of 10% of that. So that's about $7,500. Now, these are just rules of thumb. A property, you will make what you can negotiate. But this is just to give you an idea. If you're going to be doing rehabbing, and I've been doing rehabbing for 30 years, you can figure about 20% of the after repair value is a good normal profit. On a $300,000 property, that's $60,000. So it's going to take you a month or two to do the work, or have somebody do the work. So you should be making $60,000 or so. And then if you want to hold it and rent it, you're going to have your equity and then whatever your rent is in the property. So there's nice money to be made. So how much money can you make on personal property? Well, depends on what you want to do with it, of course. There's a number of different ways you can dispose of it. I utilize most of them depending on the properties. You can go to co-ops where they will take your property. You just set up your little area, and you don't have to be there and monitor it, and they will sell it for you, and they take 10 or 15%. You negotiate with them, and then you get the rest. You can partner with a flea marketer, which I have done very successfully. I don't want to go spend my weekend sitting at a flea market, but there are some people that really enjoy that, and it's social for them. They all know each other. And I give my person and her mother go, and they get 50% of whatever they make, and I get the other 50%. I just keep supplying them with stuff. If you have antiques or you suspect there might be antiques, I would create a relationship with a good antique dealer in your area. Usually what they'll do, like the one I deal with, his name is Kelly. He comes over, he goes through, and he says, I'll give you this amount of money for these things, and then he takes them away, and I'm paid cash then. It's not on consignment. Again, I mentioned earlier, you can use furnishings to furnish your rentals, which will just about double the rent. And then you can farm everything out if you wanted to. Farm it out to a garage sailor, a teen, a stay-at-home mom, a retired person. If you may notice in your neighborhoods, there are people that have garage sales all the time. That's what they do. What they do is they go around and they get stuff from junkyards and other garage sales and estates, and they take it back home, and they have a garage sale every weekend at their house. And that's how people supplement their income. So whatever floats your boat, that's how you can make money. The inheritance funding, you'll get about 5 to 7% of what is advanced. So let me explain that more clearly. Let's say somebody is going to inherit $200,000 when the estate finally settles, the probate closes. So the heir needs some cash now. The funder buys, in this case, let's say $50,000 of that $200,000, and he pays $40,000 for it. So he's buying that $50,000 at a discount, and that's why he's buying it at a discount. So the heir gets the money now, and for that he pays the discount, the $10,000 in this case. In this particular case, you would earn $2,350, and it's about 30 minutes, quote, work. So that's about, what, $47,000 an hour? That's more than I was making at my last 9-to-5 job. How about you? And then private mortgage notes are totally negotiable. A conservative rule of thumb is about 5%. So in an example, the $200,000 mortgage, you'd earn about $10,000 for 30 minutes work. But you'll write that in yourself, and our training explains exactly how you do that. It is totally negotiable, and you'll decide how much you need to make or how much the market will bear, how much this particular deal will bear. So let's review what we cover in the training system. We teach you how to find an unsettled estate first, before anybody else knows it's there, within 30 to 45 days. We determine which income streams it has. We profit by taking title to the property. We're controlling it. We've got it under contract. We profit by working or farming out the other income streams, because there are 4 that you may come across. And, of course, the early bird catches the worm, so we want to be there first. That's why this training system is important. So our system is time and success tested. I've been working it for many, many years very happily. It's fun. You're helping people. You will have far less competition because you're there first. Other people don't have a clue what's going on yet. You've got 4 income streams, multiple streams of income, and you can do any or all of them and farm out what you don't want to do and take a nice little finder's fee for that. It is like a treasure hunt, and you've got the map. Using the system is simple and it's lucrative. So the 3 secrets to success utilizing probate are: have a plan, get the knowledge, and that's what our training system gives you. Follow a system. It's a proven track record. Just do what we tell you to do. It's been proven. There's no reason for you to reinvent the wheel. And then implement the plan. Take action. And Leland, if your listeners have questions, I'd be happy to answer them now.
Marilyn, they're lighting up the boards here with lots of questions, so maybe we can just do a few. And sure. Let's see, Matthew, he wants to know if your system teaches you how to get in front of the decision makers, the administrator.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does, right down to the specifics and sometimes hokey little things that I use, but they work.
Okay, great. Let's see, Jay wants to know if you are also in your system providing techniques on how to use other people's money to buy these homes.
Yes, we do talk about that. There's a lot of different ways to do that, and we do talk about that. We talk about private money, hard money. Yes. It's important to know those things. And initially, some of my investors that I work with start out just wholesaling because they don't have money and they're not sure how to get money. But when you start wholesaling, you start building your own bank account so you can be your own lender eventually.
Right, exactly. All right, let's see. One more here from Karen. She wants to know if you provide the contact information for the company or companies that purchase inheritances.
I can do that, yes. There are many of them. I have my particular favorite, and the people that go through my training system and then have questions, I do invite you to contact me by email, and I'm happy to help you out, and that's one of the things I would share with you, the company I use, but there are many of them, and you may want to find one in your area, but I can certainly steer people to the best.
Okay. Very good, then. Do you want to give out your email address?
It's actually in the materials, so when people get the materials and study them, I want people to study the materials before they call me because I don't want to give them a telephone training. The materials are comprehensive, and they're on CD as well as in text, so you can listen to them in the car. And after you absorb the training system and how it works, then if there's questions, I invite you to shoot me an email. I'd be happy to work with you on that.
Okay, very good. I think maybe we have time for one more, and this seems to be a really good question from Alex. He wants to know exactly what comes in your training system.
A workbook, a glossary. In the back of the workbook is a glossary of the particular courthouses and probate file locations from all the ones that I've researched personally. I've studied this all across the country. I've been in counties in just about every state of the union except Louisiana. So I've shared the addresses of the courthouses and the places where I found the resources that I needed, and those are in the back. And then I've recorded the entire training system on CD, so that professionally recorded it, so that you can listen in your car. I know a lot of people are very busy and they don't have time to just sit and go through a training manual, so they prefer to listen. So I encourage you to use both.
All right, absolutely. And what is the regular price for your training system?
Regular price is $149.99.
Okay.
And I think we've offered you a special deal for your listeners tonight.
Right. and that special is $99 for $99 plus shipping, and that's good through, what did we say, this Sunday, correct?
Correct.
All right. So it sounds like, and I never even thought about this, how many different ways you can make money by dealing with probates. It's just amazing. I mean, you can buy properties if you want to, and you and I have been in the note business forever, and I can't tell you how many times I've purchased a note that has been inherited by someone. So
yes, exactly.
They're always out there. And I know usually what happens is there's like 3 or 4 people that are sharing like $600 a month that's coming in or whatever. So they always want to sell them. So
that's exactly, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
I know. So you see a lot of that. And then I like your ideas about being able to buy items at a low cost and then sell them at flea markets or even on eBay. You could do that.
Well, and the interesting thing is very often when yes, you can sell on eBay. You can also sell on Craigslist and sell to people local so you don't have big shipping costs.
Mm-hmm.
When people, one of the things that I always do, and I encourage people to do this, is when you make your offer the house and all its contents, because very often that is a huge burden off somebody's head. When you sell a house, it's supposed to be broom clean. So they're thinking, oh, I got to clean this house out, and there's dishes, and there's magazines, and there's all this stuff. No, I'm offering to buy the house and all its contents. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of all the pieces. You know, if there's something particular you'd like me to keep an eye out for, like birth certificates or wedding pictures, you let me know, and I'll be sure to set those aside for you if I run across them, and I'll take care of the rest of it. That's a huge burden for a lot of people, particularly if they're out-of-towners. Huge burden.
Exactly. And there's so many stories, and I know personally with my family, someone's passed away, and maybe they've had an illness for a while and stuff, and by the time they're deceased, you just want everything cleared out. And that's at the point where these people are willing to sell things just to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So there is plenty of opportunity there.
Yeah.
Well, all right,
Yeah.
Marilyn, we appreciate it. Once again, your manual comes with the audio training, right?
Yeah.
The training system.
Workbook. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Completely recorded.
Normally sells for. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It normally sells for $149.99, but we're doing this special for you, and $99 plus shipping and handling, $10 shipping and handling, and we send it priority mail so you get it quickly. I know people that are excited about making money would like to get the material in their hands quickly, so they will have it within a couple of days. Yeah.
Right. And I just wanted to let everybody know that we've also packaged Marilyn's offer with a website for those of you who don't have a website and you might be interested. You can add that on, and the total price, $195. It's a great deal. So
that's a really good benefit. Leland, that's a really important piece. If people are just starting this business on their own, as you know, if you don't have a website these days, you're kind of not in business. Everybody goes and checks you do. You really do. So that's a great offer for somebody that is just starting this business.
Yeah, really, because our websites normally cost $195. So basically, if they buy their website, they're getting your system for free.
So there you go.
That way. That's right. All right, so what we're going to do on our end, Marilyn, is we're going to put these specials on our member websites. We're going to also have this webinar available because we are recording it tonight, and we'll be sending out emails as well to let everybody know about this. So we appreciate your time this evening.
My pleasure.
And, yeah, I also want everybody to know that there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Well, Marilyn, thank you very much, and we'll be in touch. And if anybody has any questions, they can always email me or email us at support@charternotes.com. We'll be happy to answer the questions. So everybody have a nice evening. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.